What's up YouTube? It's Meltin Metal Anthony today with another one for you. We're going to be doing some crack repair on this bucket. Today I'm going to be emphasizing safety a lot more than I usually do. I've started to get ringing in my ears at night. It's really not cool. I don't want to see that happen to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pop these 3M hearing guards or whatever you want to call it in my ear. These work out pretty good for me because of the shape of them. I'm not trying to sell you on something. I'm just telling you about something that's happening to me. Of course, I'm going to be wearing all the other safety gear I normally do. And my friends over at Rockmount sent me this really cool optional welding hood. Of course, Black Stallion for my gloves and my welding jacket. So today we're going to be fixing these cracks on this bucket. It's just a little tiny bucket, but we have a nice crack right here. We're going to have to go through and fix this. And then up here we have a few cracks. One right here we're going to have to take care of. We're going to have to address this one, and also there's another crack right here. We're going to get these all taken care of today and get this bucket back into service. I'm going to start by gouging this out with some of Rockmount's Electro Rod. I like this stuff. It's honestly just fun to run. I don't have to start and listen to the air compressor run. I can just go ahead and turn my welder on and start gouging. I've got all my PPE on. It's not comfortable. It's not. You feel a bit like you're going to the fucking moon. But it is what it is, you know? Like I said, if you want to be able to hear, you want to have good lungs, you want to have good eyesight, you really can't spare any expense on PPE. Got my welder set to DCEN. We're going to turn it on. 245. Usually I start at 225, but I've noticed it just doesn't have enough ass to push out the metal the way I need it to when I'm using these electro rods. So I'm going to bump it up 20 amps.
When I gouge cracks out, I like to go about an inch past the end. That way I know I'm gouging into virgin material and the crack won't reappear.
Tools, you should always lube them. So I'm going to go ahead and lube my needle scaler up. Looks like my needle scaler's seen its limit. I think this road's claimed another tool. Unfortunately, with how bumpy this place is, things just don't last in my toolboxes like they used to. So, as an alternative, I'm going to go ahead and use my air hammer, my air chisel, see if that works. Seems to work fine. Some of you are going to say I gouged too much. Some of you are going to say I didn't gouge enough. Well, listen, there is no manual on how to do this. This is not pipe welding. This is not structural welding. There is no code for this. It's just do the best you can and use the best of your knowledge. As IC Weld would say, this is not how to do it, this is how I'm going to do it. So, let's gouge a little bit more. pass, I'm going to be using this Tartan B. This is quickly becoming my favorite product from Rockmount. It's like 60-10 on steroids. I mean, this stuff is crazy. It's very easy to use. To me, it runs just like a 60-10. It's in 3/32. I'm probably going to be running about 80 amps on DC EP.
So you'll notice that I'm getting a fully penetrating weld right here, and I wasn't when I was welding on the other side. That's because I'm welding on the top, then welding on the bottom, and then I combine the two with a third pass down the middle.
Portion, I'm going to switch over to an 1/8 inch rod. I was just running the 3/32 in it, and it just doesn't seem like I have enough filler going into that top piece. So we're going to go to the 1/8 inch. I'm going to bump my amps up just a little bit. We're at 80. I'm going to go up to about 85.
85 amps would be too low of an amperage for your traditional 1/8 inch cellulose rod, but for these rock mount rods, you can run them super low for some reason.
See, my root passes aren't winning any beauty competitions. You know, it's the nature of welding on heavy equipment. This is not the same piece of steel I've been welding every same day. It's not the same piece of 6-inch schedule 40 I've been welding every single day. I don't do this all the time. You know, I'm welding anything, anywhere, anytime. If I did this every day, this exact weld, this exact position, I'm sure I could make it look like stacking dimes. And you know, we have some of that profile going on. I beat it up pretty good with the air chisel, but it's just the nature of fixing heavy equipment. It's not a beauty competition. It's a how long can you make it last after you fix it competition. Now for the cap, I'm going to use a product called Polaris A. This stuff has a 95,000 PSI. It's supposed to be super crack resistant, x-ray quality, machines, burns easy, and it has more elongation, which is basically how much you can bend the weld before it breaks, than 7018.
Just like anything, just like paint, just like body work, just like anything you're gonna do in this life, prep work is key. So what I'm doing here is I'm grinding out the weld and just getting it flat and even, because the more flat and even you get the weld, the better your next pass is gonna look. So if I go through and I take my time and prep it out and knock the high spots down, then when I go ahead and make my cap, it'll look nice, even, and flush. When I dive into these jobs, I really don't know how many passes I'm going to make. It just takes what it takes. I always start at the bottom and then lay pass over pass, working my way up if I'm in a horizontal position. For anything below ½ inch with a bevel, I do prefer 3/32. Sometimes I have to bump to 1/8, but usually it's 3/32 all the way out. You'll notice I wire wheel in between each pass, and needle scaler is preferable because you're peening the weld as you go. What peening does, as has been explained to me, is basically allows the weld to relax. I don't really know exactly what it does on a molecular structure, but when I find out, I sure will let you guys know.
just finished this bucket up, and I'm really surprised these guys are hanging around with the noise. We got a couple of male antelope right there, just grazing in my front yard. So this welding career can really take you some places, you know. We finished this bucket up. The last thing we got to do is just deliver it to the customer, clean all my tools up. We got a plethora of tools out. As you can see, we got some really good results. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. It's a bucket. It's going to get stuck in the dirt, and most likely it's going to break again somewhere else. If you feel like showing your boys some support, head over to meltinmetal.com. Get yourself a hat, get yourself a t-shirt, do what you can, and you'll automatically be entered to win this welder right here. It's a Lincoln Ranger 8. All right, guys, I restored it myself. The video is in the description below. And if you feel like you want to use any of these products, give them a shot. You can go ahead and get yourself an optional helmet or any of the welding rods you see me use today, the Tartan B, the Polaris A, or the gouging rod, the Electra AAA. Oh, these three products are probably my favorite products these guys have, and they stand behind them. You can call them, they'll answer the phone, they'll put you in touch with somebody who's in your region and help you work through any problems you might be having. You ain't gonna get that out of anybody else. But anyway, I'm Meltin Metal Anthony. If you like what you saw here today, like, subscribe, share. If you didn't, you know what to do. Go fuck yourself.